Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Adelia Kasaputri. I am student at Pancasakti University and my NIM number 1,082,050,054. In this occasion, I will explain about education in lesson public speaking lecture by Dr. Mira Ermita MPD. Okay. The first slide. What is education? Education is a plain basic effort to create a learning atmosphere and learning process so that students actively develop their potential to have religious, spiritual strength, self-control, personality, intelligence, morals, life skills, general knowledge, and the skill they need for society based on the law. In fact, so education means leading outward activities, any experience that has a formative effect on the way a person thinks, feels, or acts can be considered educational. Education is generally divided into stages such as preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college, university, or apprenticeship. Means to give birth. The definition of education has been explored by theorists from various fields. Many agree that education is an activity aimed at achieving goals such as the transmission of knowledge, skills, and character. They are those who discuss their true nature beyond this general characteristic. One approach views education as a process that occurs during events such as teaching, and learning. Another view understands education not as a process but as the mental state and character of education people resulting from that process. Okay, the next slide is types of education. There are many classifications of education. One of them relies on the institutional framework and distinguishes between formal, non-formal, and informal education. Other classifications include different levels of education based on factors such as student age and content complexity. The next categories focus on topics, teaching method, media use, and funding. The most common division is between formal, non-formal, and informal education. Formal education occurs within a complex institutional framework. The framework has a chronological and hierarchical order. Modern schooling systems have classes based on the age and progress of students, from elementary school to university. Formal education is usually controlled and guided by the government. These tend to be mandatory until a certain age. Non-formal and informal education takes place outside the formal school system. Non-formal education is a middle way. Like formal education, it is organized, systematic, and carried out with clear objectives, such as tutoring, fitness classes, and scouting movements. Informal education occurs systematically through everyday experience and exposure to the environment. In contrast to formal and non-formal education, there is usually no design authority figure who is responsible for teaching. Okay, the next slide is level. This type of education is often divided into several levels or stages. The most influential framework is the International Standard Classification of Education maintained by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO. It covers both formal and non-formal education and different levels based on student age, duration of learning, and complexity of content coverage. Further criteria include entry requirements, teacher qualification, and expect outcomes from successful completion. These levels are grouped into early childhood education level 0, primary education level 1, secondary education levels 2 until 3, post-secondary non-tertiary education level 4, and higher education level 5 until 8. On the other hand, there are many other types of education discussed in academic literature, such as the difference between traditional education and alternative education. Traditional education relates to school practice that have long existed and become mainstream. It uses teacher-centered education and takes place in a well-organized school environment. Regulation cover many aspects of education, such as the curriculum and the time frames for which classes start and end. While alternative education is a general term for forms of schooling that differ from the traditional mainstream approach. There many use different learning environments, teach different subjects, or develop a different teacher-student relationship. Alternative schools are characterized by voluntary participation, relatively small class and school size, and personalized instruction. Okay, in the next slide is a role in society. Education plays various roles in society, including in the social, economic, and personal fields. At the school social level, education makes it possible to build and maintain a stable society. It helps people acquire the basic skills needed to interact with their environment and fulfill their needs and desires. In modern society, this involves a variety of skills such as the ability to speak, read, write, solve arithmetic problems, and handle information and communication technology. Other important part of socialization is learning dominant social and cultural norms, and another important part of socialization is learning dominant social and cultural norms and what types of behavior are considered appropriate appropriate in various contexts. Education plays an important role in democracy by increasing civic participation in the form of voting and organizing. And through its tendency to promote equal opportunities for all. At the economic level, people become productive members of society through education by acquiring the technical and analytical skills necessary to carry out their profession, product goods, and provide service to others. On a more individual level, education encourages personal development. This can include factors such as learning new skills, developing talents, fostering creativity, and creating self-knowledge, as well as improving problem solving and discussion making abilities. Okay, for the last slide is a conclusion. Education has a very significant influence on growth and development, both individual and in groups. Education can provide new knowledge, improve critical reasoning, and regulate certain individual behavior patterns. Thus, the resulting output has equality in terms of intellectual intelligence and character intelligence. Education can also guarantee social or meanwhile the prosperity of living together and the process of the nation. The direction of education for individuals and groups can be seen a straight line. If education has good quality and quantity, the individuals and groups, or nation and countries, will experience advanced growth and development. Or vice versa, individuals and group will experience degradation if the quality and quantity of education is not good. Therefore, education must receive intensive attention for all parties, especially those who have a role in determining the situation and condition of education. Okay, maybe that I can say. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.